Do me a favor and imagine yourself doing a chore. Something you'd almost rather not bother with, but you know it's better if you do. A task or errand that you more or less trudge through just to be able to check the box and say you did it. Did something come to mind? Great! That's exactly how watching She-Hulk is starting to feel. We're 5 episodes in, folks. 5 episodes in. And once again, I'm sitting here wondering, what exactly is the overarching plot here? The defense I've heard for this is hysterical to me. That's not what this show is supposed to be. It's just a comedy about She-Hulk. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. I'm not expecting there to be dark, dramatic undertones with some larger connection to Kang the Conqueror, but I'd love to know what is so wrong about desiring even a glimpse of what this is leading to. We have no true hint at who the villain of the show is, and barely anything even alluding to there being one. There's been no specific goal or mission Jen has been presented with or chosen to go on in order to develop as a character. Just a bunch of side tasks that haven't really amounted to much. And let me be clear, these are things I would expect from basically any show this far into it. Even the most basic and childish of comedies tend to have valuable lessons woven into the plot so that after an episode of humor and jokes, you're still left with something worthwhile to take away. But what's the takeaway from this episode? Don't be afraid to fight for something you don't really care about until someone tries taking it from you? I don't know. It reminded me of when you're a kid and you have a toy that you don't really play with, but then your parents are like, we should give that toy away. And all of a sudden it's your favorite toy that you can't part ways with. You see, in this episode, Jen is suing Titania over legal rights to the name She-Hulk. What's sad is even the defense given to keep the name is weak at best. In an effort to gain some leverage, Jen's lawyer plays a news interview of her explaining the origin of the pseudonym, mentioning it's something that the public donned her, and it seems she'll be She-Hulk forever. But it's more of an unenthused, sure, I guess that's me now type of response, more than a, yup, that's my name now and I'm proud of it. The clip played by Titania's lawyer was actually much more compelling as it showcased Jen's true emotions towards the subject and her distaste towards the nickname. But wait, Jen's got the perfect solution. Round up all the jackasses she dated in the last episode to corroborate her claim of using the She-Hulk name first, since she made a dating profile with it before Titania released her She-Hulk beauty products. But realistically, why wouldn't she have used the She-Hulk name on that dating profile? She quickly realizes using a picture of her Hulk form and that moniker bodes well for her since that's what the public recognizes her as, but I consider that a stretch to use it as proof of her desiring ownership of the name. Rather, it's another example like her news interview where she's kind of just like, nah, whatever, I'll roll with it since it's already a thing, I guess. Even prior to the court case, when Nikki is reminding Jen that she herself has never been fond of the name, Jen's rebuttal is that she does find some perks in it, proceeding to mention a few of the benefits of being a Hulk. But none of those have anything to do with wanting to retain the name specifically. Then you add in Jen's evident internal conflict about whether she is just Jen and considers She-Hulk to be another person, or if she believes they're one and the same. She goes back and forth from referring to She-Hulk like it's someone else, but then also makes multiple references to her own abilities, acknowledging She-Hulk is merely another form she can take. I guess I just don't get why the back and forth. Is it making more sense why it's hard to rally behind her here when that's what they've given us? It almost feels more like a contradiction than anything else. Based on all of her reactions up to this point, you'd think it'd be a relief that she has a perfect excuse to no longer be associated with She-Hulk. Shit, I think a more compelling approach would have been to have Jen lose the case and the rights to the name, only to later on realize she should have fought harder for it as she grows into the hero role more and understands how that name embodies her identification with it. And if they really wanted to continue mirroring the real world, then have a social media war of some kind where some people are praising Titania for winning the rights and others are making their case for why Jen should get to keep the name, and let that play into the elements introduced. But that would involve a more complex level of writing that the people behind this seem to have no interest in. Instead, they continue to use every opportunity they can to take jabs at the horrific excuse of humanity that are men, which is much easier for this show to do since the men in this show aren't men at all. They're caricatures, cartoons, and live action who neither talk nor act like 99.9% of the people I've ever met. And that can be fine for a show, when used sparingly, but this show is oversaturated with it and goes out of its way to do so. Whether it's over-the-top, unrealistic depictions or painting them as in the wrong no matter the situation. Like in the courtroom when Jen's lawyer takes the time to ask the guy she slept with in the last episode if he would have gone on the date if it were Jen, not She-Hulk. What the hell does that have anything to do with the case? Anyway, his answer is probably not the one Jen wanted to hear, but at least it was honest. He admits that Jen isn't his type, but She-Hulk is. Not really much else to say about that. You can't really force who you are or are not sexually attracted to, but it's kind of presented in a way that's trying to make you believe this guy's a douchebag for feeling that way. How dare he not change his personal preferences to like her in Jen form? What an absolute dick. But hey, at least Jen finds Marvel's version of Edna from The Incredibles in this episode to make her a supersuit. And though we got no Daredevil in this entry, we do see his helmet, which hopefully implies he'll indeed be around for next week. Alright, well, that's enough for now, I guess. Don't forget, your chances of having a good day do highly increase after you've hit that thumbs up, even more so when you subscribe. I'm just saying, nothing guaranteed, but I don't know, it's worth a shot, isn't it? Okay, bye.